Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre SR automatic. Very low mileage car, I think it's just 28,000 miles on the car. Finished in white, looks absolutely stunning. Wonderful service history attached to the car, fully serviced all the way through. This car benefits not only from having the optional white paint, but also, very importantly, the upgraded sat-nav system from the EX model. So a very, very nice spec car. It is in stunning condition, it really is. Front of the car, lights and lenses completely clear and intact. Front bumper absolutely unmarked there, that I can see. Bonnet, again, likewise. Hard to see a stone chip anywhere on there. I'm sure there must be a microscopic one or two, but nothing that immediately jumps out. Near side of the car, absolutely mirror smooth in the panels. Near side front alloy, the one that takes all the bashing, and it looks absolutely brand new. And to come down the flanks, it's just wonderfully, wonderfully clean. Near side rear alloy, again, completely unmarked. Bumper corners, bumper itself, again, in pristine condition there. Around to the offside, driver's side of the car. Again, absolutely blemish free, no indentations whatsoever. Offside rear alloy, again, completely unmarked. Remaining panels and offside front alloy, absolutely beautiful. It really is in simply stunning condition, this car. It really, really is. There will be clearly the odd tiny little mark which I can't have seen, but one of the very, very best anywhere in the marketplace. So coming into the boot area, absolutely enormous boots. They've also got a very low load height as well compared to a lot of its competitors. 60/40 fold, they're quick release, pulling the levers, and it's been kept really very nicely back here. Coming into the back now, wide opening rear doors, virtually to 90 degrees. Front seats are set for me, and I'm over 6 foot tall, so there's no cheating. It is in lovely condition again. I do apologise, it's a little bit dark, but the interior in the back here in particular, because this is where it takes all the bashing from kids and normal use, it's seen very little at all. So coming to the front, again, absolutely lovely condition. And so this half leather interior looks absolutely fantastic on these SR versions. So finally coming to the driver's side, door card again, absolutely beautifully clean. And for those footwell areas, and the seat itself, the one that takes all the wear, only shows the normal sliding in and out wear, but exactly what you expect to see, but beautiful. So inside the car now, engine's running through the section so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. The dashboard looks absolutely factory fresh. And there you see, this is the big screen sat nav from the EX, very expensive option fitted to the car. Also means that when you select reverse, you get the big screen rear parking camera rather than the normal one that's mounted up in that little slot up there, so you benefit from that as well. Also happens to double up as a DVD player, which is rather nice when you're stationary, of course. Dual zone climate control system, but it's been kept just so wonderfully, wonderfully well. Everything's working, heated seats and the like. I did say 28,000, sorry, wrong, 29,813 miles. I always get the 9s and the 8s the wrong way around. It really is fabulous in here. Video can often not do justice to a car, and certainly this is the case here. So finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 2-litre SR automatic. This particular vehicle is registered LF64ETD, and mileage currently showing is just 29,808 miles. The reason for us doing these videos is very simple indeed. We basically want anyone that's looking at our cars online to actually see the vehicle in operation. The reason we feel it's important is because we know only too well and to our cost that whilst cars can look good in photographs, and in the descriptions given. We've been to see them and find out that it's got a fundamental issue when driving the vehicle on test drive, so that's why we do it, and we can feed back any issues there may be, unlikely as it is. Road test is also done on these very quiet country roads. We're literally a hop, skip and a jump from the motorway, just a few minutes. It's ever so easy to get to, but it does make for, generally speaking, a very relaxing test drive, should that be offered. So coming to the car itself, been very, very well looked after, and it's immediately obvious, regardless of the fact that it's done such incredibly low mileage. Engine starts instantly and settles to an absolutely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge I'll do a little bit later in the video, because I tend to start them from cold for the videos, so obviously that's when any issues tend to show up. So I'll hopefully do it a little bit later if I remember, as I inclined not to do. Sorry, the sun's a little bit low, it's getting a bit glary, so hopefully it's not too bad, but we'll be changing direction in a second, so we'll get away from that. The engine's absolutely brilliant in every single respect. They give you all the things you want from a Honda engine, which is, of course, reliability and longevity, because they, with regular servicing, can last hundreds of thousands of miles. But it's the fact that when used day in, day out, it's such a sweet-natured engine. It is beautifully engineered. Crisp to rev, keen to rev, eager to rev, without any harshness, any straining, very quietly as well. And it's got a lovely broad power band. It's not all about VTEC where it's at the top of the rev range, but yes, it's got lots of power up there, but even at low revs it'll get up and go, and there's no fluffing or flustering at any point in it. They are cam chain driven, no cam belts to worry about on these at all. Coming to the gearbox of the car, typical Honda gearbox, absolutely superb. Gear changes are all but imperceptible. They're very slick. Gear ratios obviously very carefully chosen to extract the best it can out of the engine in terms of performance, but also economy on the car. Notwithstanding reputation, because the gearboxes, like the engines, last an enormous amount of time. We've never touched one. But you should still do the same checks. Just make sure that when you select drive and reverse, there's no great delays or thunks in engagement, and all the gear changes should be slick and smooth, no harshness or mechanical noises, and there's nothing at all on the car. It's absolutely perfect in that sense. Steering on the car, again, absolutely superb. I mean, the Honda, the CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, and you can see why, because there's an overall package absolutely superb. Steering is light, precise, very accurate. Whilst it certainly is not a sports car, what it isn't is one of these sort of slovenly, loose-feeling SUVs, of which I've driven a few of, which I cannot abide. On the road, it feels really settled, and the steering helps with that, because going through corners like the one in front here, you require very minimal movement on the steering wheel to turn in, and the chassis responds beautifully. It also tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. The chassis, as I've alluded to, again, it goes to corners really well. Generally very flat, unless you're absolutely hammering the car, which isn't in the nature of the vehicle, in all honesty. So regardless of what car magazines or tests say, this is a car about ferrying family along comfortably, and it does it perfectly. But as I said, show it a series of tight or varying corners, different undulations and cambers, and it is brilliant at dealing with them. As I said, body control is exceptionally good, certainly compared to a lot of its competitors, and it still manages to give you a very well damped ride. It's wonderfully comfortable. What I'm also looking for on these road tests is any signs of any kind of knocking noises or chattering coming from the suspension underneath. Not that you'd expect it on this mileage car, and it hasn't got any. You can hear the bump speed, nothing after that. It's absolutely perfect. Brakes on the car, make sure no one's directly behind me. Just give them a good old shove, but really powerful brakes on the car. good initial bite. There's no pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal at all, so all exactly as it should be. Coming to the interior, first things first, thing you notice is A, they're a very quiet car, but B, there's no squeaks, no rattles, no buzzers, nothing like that. They are beautifully put together cars, and it's still, sorry, that's just the light telling me it's gone below 3 degrees outside. It's very cold today, so it's just warning me of that. Yeah, I mean, it's just build quality is not about squidgy plastics, or heavy thunky sounding doors. It's about how well the manufacturers put things together and how well they stay together, and that's where these are light years ahead of virtually all of the competition. They are brilliantly made cars. It's also a lovely place to sit. It is in beautiful condition in here, as you'd expect with the mileage. Dashboard, you know, it could be just straight off the production line. What's lovely about this one, the SR, lovely interior with that half leather seats. Some people don't like full leather. I actually do, but you know, I can see why people don't, because on very cold days, you know, it's icy to get into, and hot days it can be blisteringly hot with the, but this has got the best of both worlds. You've got the leather inserts on the bolsters there to make it look very nice indeed, and then you've got the sort of Alcantara or suede or whatever they call it in the centre, but it does look very, very nice indeed. They are heated seats and they work perfectly because I've got them on currently. Or no, I haven't, so I've just turned it off, put it back on, put one at the start, put it back on now. But then this one, as you'll know from the walk around video, or when I get to do it, has got this sat-nav option, and it isn't the cheap option sat-nav out of the, what they call the SET models. It's the big screen sat-nav out of the top of the range EX version, and that's particularly important because it also means you get the big integrated rear parking camera, not the small one that goes into the little pod up there, which is perfectly useful, but it's just a much smaller version of that. And also when you're stationary, and if you're particularly bored or waiting for someone to finish their shopping, pop your DVD in there and you can watch a film through the system as well. It's really, really good. Rest of the dashboard all working perfectly. Dual zone climate control system. We put it in a warm workshop earlier on, and it blows out lovely cold air, so that's all operating exactly as it should. Heated seats, well, I can feel them now. They're toasty warm. Quality of the switchgear is extraordinarily good on these Hondas. They are. It seems a daft little thing, but literally press the buttons. They've got that lovely rubbery kind of click action to them, which is a sign of a very well manufactured car. Dashboard in front, what I like about it, it's simple, legible, it gives you only the information you need and no more, and I think that's really good. Temperature gauge, I've remembered, is now a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda car, by the way, whether it be a petrol, diesel or otherwise. Steering wheel pretty much looks and feels as new in hand, small in diameter, feels great. This is a four-wheel drive version of the CR-V, albeit you'll notice there are no buttons to press because Honda worked out that most people would be doing what I'm doing today, driving in perfectly good conditions. So unlike some that use permanent four-wheel drive, it's not chewing up its tyres or gulping the fuel down or putting a lot more mechanical stress through the car. It's running in front-wheel drive, the most efficient way to pull a car along. Should it need to go into four-wheel drive, it'll do it instantly and seamlessly for you. It senses the front wheel starting to lose grip, activates the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, and it is brilliant because I've got a CR-V and we tow a caravan, and sometimes it can be muddy and we've never come close to getting stuck with one. Its simplicity also gives it its reliability because we've never ever put a spanner on one of these Hondas using this system, and we've been selling them for nearly 3 decades now. As always, sorry, I was going to say, the point of the video is said is to pick up on any issues, of which there's nothing at all. It drives, cliched as it sounds, absolutely as new. It feels as tight as a drum. If you do have any questions though, do give us a call.